One of the big topics here in Cannes is measurement, ad efficiency. Let's talk more about that with Megan Clarken, President of Product Leadership at Nielsen Analytics. Great to speak with you. What will measurement look like in 5 or 10 years?
Well, I think that there's always a place for benchmarking the entire industry and comparing one media property to the other. So we're going to always base it on age and gender to measure populations and how many people are actually viewing content in a comparable way. I think as the way people buy changes and they're buying based on very specific targets like cereal eaters or avid hikers or beer drinkers, there's always a need to measure that the advertiser actually got that profile, that they got what they paid for. And so for us, the challenge is to do both of those things at the same time.
Isn't age and gender completely outdated by now?
Not at all, because it's something that everybody has. So when you're trying to make sure that you measure a media asset as compared to somebody else, then you've got to base it on something that is relevant to everybody. And so if you think about one media property, avid hikers or beer drinkers may be relevant to them, but not to another. And so this age-gender concept of being able to benchmark the marketplace is always going to be the constant. It's always going to be the base.
I've heard some voices here in Cannes saying that maybe there was too much focus on return on investment, on measuring that. There's too much focus on the actual returns and the actual profitability, not so much on the end consumer. Would you agree with some of that?
Well, I think advertisers are looking for outcomes. There's one thing to place an advertising campaign and pay a lot of money for it and know that you actually reach the target audience. But at the end of the day, what you're really after is an increase in sales or to meet your objective, which is outcomes based. And so I think that there's an equal need for measurement of actually getting your target audience and what the outcome was at the end of the day so that you can work out where to place your dollars.
How tricky is it to really catch the audience at the right time to increase audience attention? Because it seems to me that millennials especially are extremely fickle. They'll simply walk away during a TV ad. How do you best capture their attention?
Well, I think the creative component of this is absolutely essential, and we celebrate that here at Cannes Lions, is the ability to capture the audience in as short a time as possible. And when you think about TV, they have 30 seconds to do that. On digital platforms, they may have 1 or 2 seconds. And so you see creative genius come out as different brands are experimenting with different assets across different devices to people that are in a different mindset at any time when they're looking at content. And so that's the beauty, I think, of just the creative power that we see coming out of the brands as they're advertising.
Is programmatic ad buying going to kill off that creativity that you talked about?
Not at all. Programmatic is about how quickly you can get to the right audience at the right time in a way that's driven by machines. It doesn't stop you still needing to engage that audience as quickly as possible in a way that creates some sort of attention that becomes viral even, where that creative power just flows through across other platforms. So programmatic is just a way to speed up that capability, but creativity is absolutely essential.
Still watching? Perfect. Click here to watch another great video from CNBC International. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.